dead, tasty. If both of you can be cool about it, that'd be great. Just so we can have perfect look for the video. So it can look a little bit clean. That'll make me very, very happy. Dead is already dead. And that bails out of it. Tasty. I would appreciate if you did too. Alrighty, boys. It is going to be Lulu, the Monka's God. This man has came out of fucking nowhere. A minute he came out of nowhere. Pounding through the competition. Versus Zakati. This song is not perfect for like this cool setup of introducing the competitors. This song is neither. What is this? But it's going to be Monka's versus Death Knight coming into not Grand, which is going to be the staple arena. To start it off, fair amount of pillars, not enough verticality. We'll see how Zakati and Lulu do it, because this is where you go in. This is where you test your metal, dude. This is where you find out. Do pillars help you? We're going to play a map that's a pretty basic one. Then we're going to play one without any pillars at all. Which is, well, barely any pillars, or what you would call a pillar. Which is Lordaeron. In case one is advantageous to Lulu, and then the other is to Zakati. And then we're going to do a random roll. With random, we can't help it. It might give a map, the guy might get an advantage to the other, but overall, it's going to be a good setup for either or. I don't like Lulu is getting in there with an end cap as the kind of making sure to get himself a dot up and running. It is going to be Lichborn coming out immediately as Fistfear coming down. Gets a stun up onto Lulu as the Marrow Stealer. It's going to steal some Marrow. Lulu's health is actually dropping fairly low. Going to get a big old grip by Zakati. Board coming out for Lulu, even though he was fairly out there. Then it's going to go for a big old army setup. Army is running after Lulu, going to get some damage in. Lulu is going to pop his wall. Does have dampen harm, no trick it out yet. And Zakati popped his offensive, but no defenses quite yet. Has a lot of runic power. Raging Fist of Fury right now from Lulu. Lulu's going to have to get in there. Not going to be able to let that Fist of Fury connect. Whirling Dragon Punch is going to come out though, as Necrotics is starting to stack up on that bad boy. Gonna Dragon Kick out to the pillar so you can maybe catch up a little bit of a heal. And Zakati's just gonna run after it. Gonna use the images to generate a little bit of resources. Zakati's out sitting at about half health. Incap coming out for Lulu as Zakati approaches. Vivifies coming out for Lulu immediately. Fist of Fury to follow to get the parry rolling. Gonna be a stun by Zakati though. Chickens out of Lulu into Tiger's Lust to bail away from the Death Knight. Gonna set up a port ahead of time so he has a plan B, and if things ever get bad. And it's going to engage with Zakati. He has a stun up and running. Doesn't have anything available though. It's going to be Lichborn coming out of Zakati. Grip coming on to Lulu. It's going to be a port coming in immediately. Zakati is going to have to get out of that Lichborn in order to get some damage to Lulu. Karma coming out immediately though for Lulu. With a Fist of Fury trying to get offensive. Not even using images, which he has two of them stored up to, at least for cooldowns. Lulu's just trying to cycle through his defensive, getting Zakati fairly low, and Zakati is going to go for big death strikes back to back. Lulu's trying to go for images with some big damage, trying to get Zakati low and then maybe one-shot him. And Zakati is just going to continue getting a lot of death strikes in there back to back. Going to go for a death pack right now so he can stay offensive with Lulu. Maybe stack up a few necrotics. Lulu's going to bail out of there and go for a few heals as Zakati's health is barely hanging in there. My one question now is, did Zakati even use his defensive? Did he use the transfusion where he can get a lot of death strikes? Because he does have a lot of runic power already saved up. Still is holding to his trinket. Lulu has wall up and running. He's going to have images up. Looks like there's going to be touch of death available again. Stun coming in by Zakati onto Lulu. Stun coming out for Lulu though is going to go for a touch of death. Zakati needs to find a way to start dealing with this right now. Is going to get a slow into Lulu so the Fist of Fury don't connect. Whirling Dragon Punch is going to do some damage. Zakati needs to start healing. Touch of death is going to tick on him. Lichborn is coming out so he can maintain himself defensively. Fights are coming out for Lulu to maintain their own health. Zakati's actually going to get an interrupt onto Lulu as dampened home and wall coming out. Lulu's going to be basically indestructible. Can Zakati burn through a tough exterior? Fist of Fury coming out. Zakati has no way to hit into this. He's getting parried all the way. Is that going to be Zakati going down though? Barely hanging in there. Zakati does go down as Lulu does take him out into the first duel setup. Doesn't need walls. Well, actually, he did use walls to reset a couple times, but maybe, just maybe, the next duel will be proven to us. Do walls matter? Or do they not matter? The Monkus? Or is it going to be Zakati? Lulu's burning himself, just sucking himself out. Wants to get himself in a duel, and Zakati just waiting out on the other side. With Tasty, with that Tasty, better give him man massage, man. Be like, you got this, champ. You got this. Anytime now. Oh no, Zakati's just having a little dance party right now. Psyching himself up right now, dude. Prepping himself. Tasty making sure to change his transmog so he can just be pleasing to Zakati. And it's like, hey man, look at my mug. That'll make you feel better, right? Alrighty boys, Lulu, Zakati, you guys are the only ones I want to see in the duel. is going to engage. Zakati, the unkillable, the monstrous Death Knight. It's going to be a touch of death. Open or burst setup coming out. Zakati is going to Lichborn out of it immediately, prepping up his gold to be a lot more beefy. Fist of Fury coming down and going to get a stun into that Fist of Fury. Chicken coming out of Lulu this time, though. Wants to go offensive, and Zakati is just going to get himself. I'm going to call him dead a few times. I apologize. He's going to get the army rolling, though. Trying to get the army in there, and Zakati is just going to burn himself. What is it called? Disadvantage so he can get into that Ring of Peace. No, he doesn't get knocked. Lulu is continuing to pump pressure. Wall and Dampen Harm are down. All he has is a Karma. Actually staying even more hyper offensive with Zakati. Fist of Fear coming out. Zakati's gonna go for Death Pact. Actually, Zakati's health is going down very quickly. Critical health. Karma coming down. Hits Zuen. You have to hit Zuen. Zakati's actually probably down right now. Oh my god, he just obliterated that Death Knight. Hello? This man did not need walls. He just went hyper aggressive. What? Hello? We don't have a bet. We can't really have a best out of 3. If you guys want, we could do one more. I mean, Lulu won that duel. We could have another one because he won best out of 3. But we could give a chance for Zakati to come back. How does that sound? Zakati, dead. I'll give Zakati a chance to maybe get one win out of this. Random arena. Zakati... The duel has already been established. It's a best out of 3. Lulu won. We just seen if Zakati. We want to give him a chance to at least get one under his belt. Because, I mean, just losing 2 like that back-to-back while getting a manga with a Karma must not feel that good. So we're going to give him a chance. Give him a chance. This Windwalker. Oh, yeah. Windwalkers are beefy as a recent setup. Back in 8.1, I didn't see a lot of... Oh, back in 8.0, I didn't see a lot of them. But 8.1, man, they're everywhere. Lulu versus Zakati. Zakati's getting in there, aggressive off the bat. Lulu's making sure to establish a port. That's going to be paralyzed. As the slow comes down, it's going to be full stun lock combo. Zakati's going to bail out of it with Lichborn. He's going to beef up his pet. Going to go hyper offensive right now. Fist of Fury going to come down. He's going to stun the Fist of Fury. Karma coming in immediately for Lulu. So he just wants to sink as much damage into Zakati. Just continue to pump deeps back to back. But Zakati is a little bit smarter with this. He's just going to heal through all this damage while the pets are attacking him. Lulu was going to take all that pet damage, reverse it into Zakati. Zakati's just playing a lot more defensively right now. He's trying to continue surviving. His health is on control like 20%. Getting necrotic stacked up onto Lulu. After that grip, Lulu's going to get a port out. Lulu's actually going to get back in there with a Fist of Fury. Parry coming out pretty big right now. Going to roll behind the pillar afterwards. Zakati needs to go for big death strikes. Death pack still available for him, but he's slowed completely. He's going to go for a death pack. As Lulu's going to go for a bunch of vivifies. And Zakati's going to get in there with a paralysis to follow. As the death pack rolling, Lulu's just trying to build the resources off of the pet. Maybe get some kind of a proc. Does establish Fist of Fury as Zakati approaches. Lulu doesn't have a trinket for a bit, so Zakati maybe could actually do something about it. He's going to go for back-to-back death strikes onto Lulu. Trinket coming down. Does have Lichborn, so he doesn't really have to worry about getting CC'd or waiting for a trinket to CC at a perfect time. Does get the pet beefed up, so the pet is going to get a root onto Lulu for a moment. Maybe you can see a grip on Zakati. Lulu does establish a port, and it looks like Zakati might actually take out Lulu this time. It's going to be Fist of Fury coming down. Zakati actually is going to take one under his belt. Zakati making sure to come back, doing a little dance, doing a little jig. Zakati, that last duel you played really, really well, man. I want to give this man a chance to come back. That's all I want to give him, dude. That's all I want to give him. Wait. If Zakati beats dead, I think Zakati is going to be 1-1. I'm going to give if Zakati beats dead right now, I'm going to give it 1-1. And then Zakati and dead and Lulu have to do one more duel. New rule. If Zakati makes a comeback right now, and take someone one after the other, Minimi and Dead have to go. I'll give Zakati a point. Let's make it exciting, boys. Let's make it exciting. Zakati's trying to add Dead right now. This is an opportunity, man. Into a root. Dead is going to get some range damage. Zakati barely has any health. The pet is getting pulled back. Does Zakati even have his pet of his own right now? I don't think he does. Trying to get around the corner. Dead is going to come at him with some cooldowns right now. Zakati's trying to get him some health back. Zakati's going to get a bunch of death strikes onto Dead. Is he getting a bunch of necrotics? Looks like he's getting necrotics with Zakati versus Dead. These guys, did those guys two duel before? We have to have them duel 1v1, man. Did they duel before? I don't think they have. Wait, Zakati might come back. Zakati might come back. Zakati took out Dead. Minimi, you and Zakati have to go again now. You and Zakati have to go again. How does that sound? Just to make it fun. Because Zakati literally won that duel and then be dead right afterwards. It's like snap to snap. Zakati, bring your A game, because it feels like Lelou's playing you like a fiddle. Show us that we are wrong. Show us that we are wrong. Zakati's getting in there right now. Lelou's establishing his port all the way at the start. Gonna have a pretty big pillar. He's gonna get into paralysis onto Zakati. Big images coming out. Not gonna go for a touch of death. Just gonna go for some damage with images. Zakati's gonna try to get a slow. Fist of Fury are coming down. Gonna get a stun onto Lelou as Dampen Harm comes out. Zakati's trying to go for some big damage. Does get himself the army rolling. Is gonna go for big death strikes. Lelou's just gonna hit him with a stun and bail out of this. So Zakati's transfusion is not gonna work. Still has a fair amount of defensive. Still has a lot of runic power. Has the whole army chasing after him, running after him. Needs to engage the monk. Is going to get slows on the monkas though. As the Lelou's getting offensive. Going to go for another images. Fist of Fury to follow. No touch of death. Saving that touch of death. Going to get a lot of damage to Zakati. Whirling Dragon Punch. Dropping Zakati's health fairly low. And as Zakati wants to go counter offensive with the death strikes. It's not going to be anywhere near. And Zakati is trying to get some health back right now. Little by little. Death strikes are coming out. There's going to be a touch of death onto Zakati. Lelou I think is just waiting now for the incap. Is that going to be touch of death taking down Zakati? Ledgeborn coming down. Zakati barely has any health. That is going to be a lot of Fist of Fury damage. Stun coming down to Lelou. Karma coming down. Zakati has AMS rolling, but can you live through this? Is starting to get death strikes back to back after the death back. Lelou's still hanging in there. Karma is still holding on for a bit. Zakati making sure to get a grip back into Lelou, into a slow, buffing up the pet. Zakati is still holding on to his trinket. Barely any health left. Fist of Fury coming down, so he's getting parried up on the opener. Zakati trying to make sure to get Lelou slowed out of the bat. Stun coming out. Trinkets out of it immediately. Trying to make sure death strikes are rolling. Make sure to redot Lelou. Gonna go for big cooldowns right now. Vivifies coming out for Lelou. They interrupted onto it. Necrotis is gonna stacked up. Does Lelou have anything? Incap coming down. Trying to roll out of there. Getting out to the other side. Gonna go for Vivifies right now. No dampening quite yet. Has images available. At least one stack of them. Is gonna use images right now. Fist of Fury to follow. That's a big parry. Stun coming out because Lelou gonna go down. Death strikes coming out for Zakati, playing more defensive than anything. Trying to get some damage in. The Apocalypse coming out with the army. Lelou's bailing out of there with Tiger's Laws. Gonna go for Vivifies. Back-to-back Vivifies coming out. Army is hitting him. Slows coming out into dead by Zakati. It's going to be port for Lelou as he gets necrotics on him with wall, saving him by a little bit. Dampen Harm available too. Is going to use Dampen Harm as Zakati gets in there. Lelou's still playing very defensively. Still continuing to get himself Vivifies whenever possible. Dead is getting, Zakati's getting up there and face-to-face. Personal is going to be Fist of Fury for Lelou into an incap. Going for a few Vivifies. Dead, I think, tried to interrupt it maybe. Dead is going to get out of that stun with a Lichborn, and Lelou's now on the ropes. On his little tippy toes. Karma coming out. Zakati's going to get an AMS rolling, preparing that AMS for every one of those Karmas. As Lelou's trying to get a lot of damage back into Dead. Also using that Karma to heal, so he does want to do damage to Zakati. Zakati's going to get a stun and necrotic spammed up onto Lelou. Lelou's going to bail out of there. Going to go around the pillar. Grip coming in. Another Dragon's Kick coming out. Going to go for Vivifies back to back. And Zakati get a kick on it. Trying to get the pet over there. Trying to get some beef up damage rolling. Lelou does have Touch of Death. Does have images. Trick coming up in a little bit. Touch of Death coming out to Zakati. Is Lelou going to go for big damage. Fist of Fury coming out defensively to parry any damage Zakati can put out. Zakati does have a lot of resources in order to go for back-to-back death strikes. Health is going all over the place. Lelou has barely any health. Could he go down any moment right now? Necrotic out right now. Zakati barely has any health. Lelou actually does go down at the very, very end. Now that was a real duel right now, boys. Now that was a real duel. Now that was a fun duel to watch. Now that was fun to watch. I feel bad because I'm almost shafting Minimi. But Minimi knows he is good. If this was another duel, best out of 3, as it went the first time, Minimi definitely won that one. Just to make sure Minimi is hungry for more. Minimi is hungry to come back. DK stack with 3 Azerite traits and 0 dampening. With 3 Azerite traits? Azerite Veins, right? And 0 dampening is supposed to win. Does he have Azerite Veins? I can't see with this UI. But I am gonna give this one to Zakati. He played that one really well. I am gonna give this one. You guys can have a comeback next week or the week after that, Minimi. In this duel, I am gonna give it to Zakati. Again, I really feel bad because I feel like I shafted you because you won the best out of 3. And I get the curveball in there.